Hello friends and family. I have the opportunity to go to Paraguay for a missions trip in the summer of 2023. I wanted to create this video today to let you know a little bit more on how I decided I wanted to do this and what it's about, and give you information so you can decide if you want to support me or choose to do something else. So first off, this Paraguay trip is a media trip. While we're there, we will be creating 1 or 2 documentaries, and we will be teaching the youth down there how to create, how to edit, how to record, and so much more. We will be having different sessions to help prepare us to travel, to be in a different country, what we will be teaching, and so those will happen closer to the summer. For those of you who don't know, I work with media services here at Olivet, and I really enjoyed it. I got the job my freshman year. I was applying to different jobs on campus, and I saw media was an option, and it didn't really stand out to me at that point in time, but I was like, this would be really cool. I had started my YouTube channel at the beginning freshman year, and I have done some other things, and my mom and Andrew, my mom does photography, Andrew works with computers, and just like the love of technology was there for me, so I was like, that would be cool if I could get this job and do it, even though I'm not majoring in any media, anything with media. So with applying for that job, during my interview, I used my YouTube channel and have edited photos just for myself and just learning by watching others. I used that, and I didn't feel one way or the other if I was going to get the job, but then I did end up getting the job, and that was awesome. And of course, being at Olivet, or being at a university, I made videos for that on YouTube, and those were like my best videos, and I just enjoyed creating, and so that's like a pretty big part of my life, and I do that as like a time to relax or just work my mind in a different way. So whenever I saw the options for the mission trips, media was what stood out. So now let's talk about the day that was the informational meeting for the mission trip. It was a Tuesday, and I knew about it beforehand, and I wanted to go. And I believe I had even put it on my calendar or put it in my planner. I don't know. I don't remember. But I went to another club called Manna, where we serve the homeless or the less fortunate in the community. And so I was at that, and that goes until 7 or so. And the meeting started at 7:30, I think. Anyways, I did not remember. When I was at Manna, it didn't even think about me, didn't even occur to me, no thought popped into my head. But luckily, the leaders of Manna, they both were saying that they were gonna go. And so on our way back, the leader that I was riding with, she was like, she brought it up, and she was like, does anyone want to go with me? And then I was like, yeah, I want to go. I was gonna go anyways, but I completely forgot about it, so I'm glad that you brought this up. And so we talked about it a little on the way back to campus, and then I went and sat and listened to the informational meeting. And so were 6 spring break mission trips and 3 summer mission trips. The summer mission trips were all out of the country, and the spring break had 3 domestic and 3 international. And so I just went. I had no high hopes. I had no what is it? Preconceived notions. That's definitely not what it is. I had nothing set in stone. I didn't think I was gonna go. I did not think I was gonna go. I just wanted to see what was available because my school years have been messed up, and I've heard about missions trips, but I never got to go on one because freshman year was cut short and I wasn't on campus. Anyways, so now we're here, senior year, and so I'm like, I would really like to do this. And I go there and I listen to each one. We make it through spring break. I wasn't really planning on doing spring break because I want to be able to go home and actually have break to recharge before the end of the second semester, which is next semester. And so I was still being open-minded. Whenever they got to the summer, I think it was either the first or the second country that they spoke about, and they were like Paraguay, media, and I was like my ear perked up, and I was like, media. And so I listened to all of it. It is about 2 weeks. That includes travel time. And I was like, that sounds really cool. And the head of the Shalom Project, which is who does the missions trips here at Olivet, and the leader of Manna, who I was talking to, both were talking about how we raise money to pay for it. Because I was like, I'm not going to be able to pay for all of that myself. But I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, talk to family or people from church and just see if anyone is able to give, if not, and if this was really something that God wanted me to do, I believe He would provide. And so I listened to that. Multiple of the ministry trips had like a requirement. So there was one that were for like nurses and doctors, people in the medical field, because they would actually do some training there. And then of course there was a media one, and there were a few others which I don't remember, but so media was what stood out. And at the end of the informational meeting, the head of the Shalom Project, she was like, you don't have to have your answer today. Go home, like pray about it, do whatever you have to do or feel like you need to do. And truthfully, I feel like that I felt like I knew in that moment that this one was for me, but when I heard that, I kind of felt like that's something I should do. So then like the next day, like I had prayed at night, I was praying in the morning, and like the next day I was really listening and thinking, I was like, man, like what is it about media that seems so strong in my life when I'm doing forensic chemistry? And so I didn't want to tell a lot of people until I made my own decision, so I knew that it was from God and that it was mine. And so I prayed. I told my parents after I prayed a little bit, and I was like I really think this is for me, and like God is trying to show me something with this. And my mom said maybe it's like an outlet, because with forensic chemistry, like working with crime scenes, that can be very draining and morbid and things like that, and media is a fun, creative thing that can be a part of my life. And so I'm like, that makes sense. And I'm not saying that that's wrong, but I definitely am still trying to get an understanding of that. Next was the application process. So now I decided that I was going to go to Paraguay, or I was going to apply to go to Paraguay. And so the application process was quite extensive. They had all sorts of questions on what is the reasoning that you should fit in this category. They actually gave you could put 2 mission trips down, so if you didn't fit into the first one, or too many people already got it or were a better fit for it than you, then you could pick a second one. But you had to fill in both the blanks. I put Paraguay for both because I was like, I believe this is the one the Lord wanted me to go to, and there was no sense in me putting a random one that I didn't feel was put in my life or spoken to me about. So I put Paraguay for both. I filled out all the information, which really, as I was answering the questions on why I think I'd be a good fit for this, what does a mission trip mean to me, and all the other questions, it really, I feel like, strengthened my, like, the feeling I had to go. And so I was like, yeah, I really do feel like this is for me. And if it's not, I'm not gonna be selected to go on the trip. And so I finished the application process, turned it in. There's definitely a lot of information that I received, and like just things I didn't know how a mission trip would go because I've only been on one other one. After the application process, it was a waiting game. So you had, I think they had 2 weeks to give us an answer back. And I remember I knew the day that we were supposed to get an answer back. That day came and the day passed. And I was like, okay, Lord. I was a little sad, but like it wasn't anything too crazy because I was like, Lord, if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. I was like, I understand. I really wanted to go, but if you don't think I'm ready, then that is your choice, right? But then we were supposed to get word back on a Friday, and then I think the following Tuesday, something like that, I decided to send the email to the Shalom Project, because I believe if you apply to something and you don't hear back, I'm like, you might as well ask to see, because I think that even if you don't get accepted, you should get an email or something that says you're not expected. Just like whenever you go to college, you got that big envelope for whenever you're accepted into the college, and then you got the itty bitty envelope when they say, I'm sorry, you were not accepted. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna email the director and see what she says. So I emailed her, and then a day or two later, she was like, I am so sorry that somehow the email did not get sent out. And so then she sent out the email, and I was a part of it. And I was so excited and so thankful to God that I was able to have this opportunity to go and touch lives in a different country. And hopefully the Spanish I have learned all throughout school will come to use. It might take a couple days for me to get speaking well, but I'm looking forward to that. Okay, lastly, now that you've heard my story, I have made this video because I want you to know how and why this is on my heart. I love helping people. I love learning about different cultures, going to different places. It was very eye-opening on my first mission trip when I went to India, just seeing the poverty. And I know that there's many ways that we can like spread God's ministry, and I really want him to use me in whatever way that he sees fit. And so I come to ask you if you would help me and support me so that I can go on this trip. I will have 2 links below. One link is the link with the Shalom Project. That is our travel and all of our housing and food expenditures for the trip. There's that person that's on the Shalom Project website, and I have my own little name and spot where you can choose to support, and that donation would also be tax deductible, tax deducted. The second option will be a GoFundMe, and I created this to help me pay for my new passport, because this cost will also add the immunizations that I will need and extra money for anything that I might need or want to get while I am there. So it's really exciting. If you so choose to support either one of those, the GoFundMe, I don't think will be tax, where you can be tax deducted, but you guys probably know more than I do. So I just hope this video gives you some more information, or any information if I haven't said anything to you about this. I just thought a video would be a good way for everyone to get all of the information, to make sure I don't forget anything, and then you can make a decision. You don't have to tell me, but I will put the links in the description box, and I will label which one is what, and you can choose, and you'll see my goals. I would like to meet my goals before May, just so that I know what I have to finish paying, and I can make sure that I can go on this trip and spread God's love. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this and hear my story, and thank you if you did choose to help.